Hello everyone and welcome to my page, Messages from Venus. So I have videos to make as per usual. This one is going to be about Kanye West. Let's talk about Kanye West. Oh my gosh, you guys. I mean, what's the problem? I don't see the problem in what he said. What is it that's not reality or that's not true as far as what he said? Oh. What is it that's so hard to put together in your mind? I would love for people to comment after watching this entire video, because I feel like Kanye West didn't say anything that's not real. For those of you that are like, oh, but how can slavery possibly be a choice? Well, because once you question that, once you question the fact that slavery was a choice, he didn't say it was a choice to come to be put into ships and be sold and bought and made into merchandise of some sort, or some sort of food for the matrix that we live in today. Because that was going to happen with or without slavery, and if it wasn't the black people, it was going to be someone else. But unfortunately, it was us. It continues to be us. And now, and then it was the Jews, and then it was the gypsies, and now the whole world is the fucking machine. The whole world is enslaved, just in case you didn't know. I mean, it's not funny, but the whole world is enslaved. We're enslaved to machines. We're enslaved to our own thoughts. We're enslaved to the thought that, for some people in America, I'll say in New York, we are enslaved to the thought that we are entitled to something. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is like going kaput, is going to shit. We are enslaved to machines. We're enslaved to our jobs. We're enslaved to the word taxes in and out of the United States. We are indebted and enslaved to the universe, to our ancestors. We are enslaved to our ancestors. Whether you're black, white, pink, blue, Amish, I don't know. You're enslaved to your ancestors. Not only are we enslaved to the machine that we call the matrix, not only are we enslaved to the solar system, bitch, we're enslaved to the solar system, bitch. We're enslaved to the solar system. We go by the solar system. Whenever the planets move, if you don't move with it, your ass is grass. You're out of the game. You're kaput. You're out of the game. Boom. Ta-ta. Toodaloos. Some shit will drift and happen that wasn't part of your plan. That wasn't part of your contracts or your spiritual contracts. You are indebted to the existence or the continuing existence of your race, which is the human race. You're indebted and enslaved to that. If you're on Earth, hello, you're on Earth, and you're one of the millions of people that watches YouTube, you're indebted to everyone. And not only are you indebted, but you are also enslaved to the system, because you have to follow the system, right? You have to follow the system of your death, which is your life, because you're actually you're dying as opposed to living. You're living till the time of your death. That's a good way to put it. So you're living until the time of your death. As far as slavery, as far as Kanye's perspective and what he was talking about specifically, for those of you that are ignorant or for those of you that didn't know, in the United States, there was slavery legally. I mean, we're still slave. We're still slaved. We're still enslaved. If you look at our Constitution, if you look at let me see, at the amendments, we're technically still enslaved. We are still slaves, whether you're black, blue, purple, or whatever. But for 400 years, for those of you that didn't know, for 400 years, there were African American and also indigenous tribes that were enslaved to the master. And in this case, the master was the European man, the white man, okay? The white man enslaved the colored people, black people for 400 years legally, people were bought, sold, etc., etc. And I'm only explaining this because there's some people that believe that the Holocaust didn't exist. There's some people that believe that slavery was bullshit, that it wasn't real, that it didn't exist at all, when in fact it did. Like, everything happened. Like, the Holocaust happened. Slavery for 400 years in the United States of America happened. These are things you can look up, not just Google, but you can go to your nearest library and search them up. Some people on here are a little bit ignorant. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on up here, but some of you all are crazy. However, back to the topic, Kanye was talking about black people being enslaved and it being a choice. Kanye did not say that slavery in and of itself was a choice. Like, people didn't choose to be on those slave ships, to be transferred over, to be bought and sold to the amusement of the European man that was already here. Here meaning in the Americas, whether you're in the Middle America, South America, whether you're in the United States of America, it doesn't matter. When you were on this side, you were transferred here. In the Caribbeans, you were transferred here to be bought and sold. For the entertainment and for purposes of the gain and wealth of the white man. That's what happened. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm racist. This is what happened. When I'm talking about this stuff on my channel, I am not being a racist. These are facts of the fucking matter. Okay. Now, when Kanye West said that, he didn't mean that was the choice. He meant that the continued slavery for 400 years was the choice. Why? Because our ancestors were not stupid people. They might have not had the language. They might have not been able to read and write English, but they created what the world is today. The basis of what the world is today was created by our ancestors. So you're not talking about stupid people. Did they know that they were being traded and sold and that they were going to be mistreated? Some of them did and some of them didn't. You know why? Because some of them were connected to their own ancestors and had their own spirituality. And I am sure that they were also being baptized back then, just like some people are baptized in Yoruba and in Ifa or whatever. And they have spirits whispering in their ears. You're not going to sit here and tell me, when I'm sitting here practicing on this side of the world, on this side of spirituality, that somebody didn't whisper something in your ear. They didn't tell you, they didn't notify you that some shit was gonna go down. If they notified the Inca tribes, if they notified the Aztec tribes, bitch, they notified your ass too. You got the fucking memo, live and direct. Okay, the premature texting, you got that text message, you got that email. Why is it a choice? And why I understand and why do I believe that Kanye West is correct in the situation is because a lot of us choose not to get out of that slavery. Now we have a choice. Maybe the first 100 years wasn't a choice for them, but after that, they couldn't get up. They couldn't get up to you can't sit here and tell me they couldn't get up to fight. They couldn't revolt. It's bullshit. Most people, or most African Americans and most indigenous people that still live within their tribe today, fought their way to conserve their tribes, to conserve their DNA. Not to conserve, sorry, to preserve their tribes, to preserve their DNA, to preserve their last name. So for the rest of you guys whose aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, or whatever weren't fighting the good old fight, that's a choice. That was a choice not to fight the good old fight. That was a choice for some people. And back then, you only had the choice whether you were gonna fight. You were gonna fight to survive, or you were gonna fight to die and try to survive. Okay, you were gonna fight to die trying, or you were gonna fucking die. That was the choices. However, the fact of the matter is that you had a choice. Some people, during the times of segregation, decided to assimilate. Like Martin Luther King introduced assimilation, whether he recognized that or not. Whether his dream, the Matrix, he had a dream. A dream is an illusion. A dream is not real. Well, he had a dream. The shit isn't real. Okay? When somebody tells you I had a dream and this is what happened in the dream, and you don't say I had a dream, which is going to be reality, so you got to be very careful with the words that we listen to our heroes, or we listen to the people that we look up to. Not that Martin Luther King was a bad person, because he wasn't a bad person. He fought and did what his purpose was to fight for and do on this planet. However, he did assimilate black people into other communities. which in his perception of fighting, or in his perception of doing better for his people, that was the choice that he made. And he brought a lot of things that were good to the table, and there were other things that I don't think that should have been brought to the table, but that's a different video. In this video, what I'm trying to tell you, and of course I have a stuffy nose, just so you guys know, but in this video, what I'm trying to tell you is that there has to be a choice. You weren't dealing with stupid people. When some of you guys talk about, oh, well, our ancestors were slaves. First of all, it's up to the choice. It's up to the point where right now, some of you guys don't even recognize that you don't even know who you are. And you can't say in this day and age, I am sorry, but you cannot say in this day and age that you don't have either somebody talking about consciousness, either somebody going to church, and talking to you about their version of consciousness where it makes you want to get to know yourself. There's DNA tests that want to make you get to know yourself. And what I'm going with this is that there's a choice on whether you want to know whether you were actually enslaved or not. There's some of you guys choose to enslave yourselves. For example, I don't have ancestors who chose to be slaves. None of it doesn't exist in my DNA, right? I don't have ancestors who were forced into slavery either, because you had the choice. You had the choice to either die trying, or you had the choice to continue, right? Oh, sorry. Or you had the choice to stay there. If I had the choice back then, with the consciousness that our ancestors had back then, some of y'all are gonna hate me, but with the consciousness that we had, the world wasn't as like slow as it is today. Some people think that we are faster than we were back then. No, back then we had more consciousness, we had more communication with one another. Maybe things occurred a little slower than they are occurring now due to not having cell phones and the technology that we have today. But the fact of the matter is that in that world, I would have chosen to die. I would have never allowed myself to reproduce during that era. Even though for some of them, and some of the perception, it was best to reproduce, even though they knew that their kids were being born into slavery, so that their DNA doesn't die. And I totally and completely understand that. But not for 400 years. This shit doesn't go on for 400 years and everybody's just sitting around like, yeah, we're going to be slaves. Oh, we're scared of the master. Oh, he brought up the Bible. He brought up Jesus Christ, that man that everybody should fear, who happens to be a Caucasian. Meanwhile, in the book, it says that the motherfucker was black. It's the choice. It's a choice now. Okay, as there was a choice somewhere along the line between those 400 years, it was a choice. Okay, and those choices that they decided to stay, or that people the people that were slaves decided to make certain choices, or to go back after they were let go, because some of our ancestors, okay, and I'm gonna include myself in it, even though I have neither. Okay, my ancestry is full of indigenous people, and even when my great-grandfather was trying to run away, or whatever they were trying to run away from in Spain, and whatever the situation was over there, they still weren't slaves. Okay, they decided to leave than to be belittled in their own country, and they decided to come over, migrate, and create something better for themselves, and then procreate. Even though they also faced challenges in the Dominican Republic. I'm talking about my ancestors. Okay, some of you guys need to stop choosing during this day and age. Okay. Some of you guys need to stop choosing to want to be slaves, to want to be part of that history. Stop trying to be part of that history when sometimes it doesn't even apply to you. Some of you guys are aboriginals. Some of you guys are, like, some of your ancestors are this country. There were people in the United States before slavery happened, before Christopher Columbus happened, before all of that happened. I encourage everyone, before you want to go after Kanye West for stating his opinion with facts, some of you guys have to get to know yourselves. You're just so quick to fucking judge. You don't know your own fucking history, so you just want to follow social media. And that, I feel like, is the problem with Kanye West and what he said. It's a problem, okay? This is a time where we have to unite. This is a time where a lot of us, we study astrology, we study the tarot, and we don't know what's happening. How the fuck y'all study and y'all don't know what's happening? Y'all don't know we're in the interim of the age of Aquarius. You don't know who's making sacrifices for your life every day. How do you guys not know your gods and goddesses in the relationship that you have with people? How are you guys still baptized and being fucked up to other people during this day and age where we're supposed to be rising together as one race? Who the fuck said that Asian people is one race, black people is another, and white people is another? Bitch, no. We are the human race. We fall into the motherfucking category of one race. Maybe you're talking about a different ethnicity and culture. Maybe. We have to get that shit down packed. And that's what Kanye West is talking about. It's about unity. Some people might say, oh, she doesn't like white people. Or Madeline doesn't like white people. I don't like the white people that think the way that the slave owners think. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, you guys are going to respond. But that's what I hate. I don't hate white people. I hate the thought of wanting to enslave other people. You're living in the year 2018 and y'all motherfuckers is still trying shit? Are you fucking serious? And it's not just people that are white here. There's people that are white here. They see no color. They see nothing. It's like something is within them. They're either their fucking their third eye, 6, 7, 8 eyes, or 7 eyes that we have up here. During these 2 eyes, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But that's what I hate. I don't hate white people. I am not a racist. It's just the facts of the fucking matter. Okay? The facts of the matter is that people were enslaved. Some of them were enslaved by force. Some of them were enslaved by choice. And then some of us continue to want to be slaves. It's kind of like we're like still attracting the slavery. And so what does the government do? What does social media do? They create outlets to continue to have you enslaved. For example, the dollar. For example, Instagram, Snapchat, social media. Things that we have to use on this day and age that I even have. You're still part of some sort of slavery or some sort of machine. Okay, that drives us, but it won't ever stop. Excuse me, it won't ever stop until we decide that is not who we are. That's not who we are anymore. So my encouragement and my suggestion, I mean not encouragement, but my suggestion is that you guys, all my viewers, I don't give a fuck what color you are. You have to get to know your ancestry before you include yourselves in bullshit. And I include myself in the, I'm my ancestors, slavery and all this other stuff because I come from a background where my great-grandfather, meaning my great-grandmother's father, was the owner of many lands in what is Haiti today, okay? Many lands. He was an attorney, what you would call an attorney general today. And they saw the difference in how they treated Dominicans, the mulattoes, and then they treated the indigenous people, which is what some people call Haitians today, but they are the quote-unquote indigenous people. They have the original bloodline. The mulattoes and the Dominicans that are today are the mixtures or are the breeds of those who either decided to breed or of those who were forced to breed, or who were raped in my country. So it's difficult for me, and I'm gonna continue to. It's difficult. Let me just finish my sentence. It is difficult for me to see people wanting to continue to be enslaved. I cannot imagine being my great-grandmother and having mulatto children. Meanwhile, she chose that life. She wasn't raped. She wasn't molested. She chose that life. But I just want you guys to understand why I speak the way I speak. Oh, yes, I'm black. Yes, the black woman is God. Yes, I have to give face for the people of my color. Because if not I, then who the fuck? No one. Why? Because people of my color, of my ethnicity, of my background refuse. They refuse to see that they are number one, they're no longer slaves. In that sense where they're not. They don't have to be the housemaids of people. They don't have to clean after somebody else's ass. They have the ability to have a choice. They have the ability to have an opinion despite of what the government says. They have the ability to recreate their story. We have black people, since we're talking about slavery, have the ability. White people, since we're talking about the slavery, pink, orange, and yellow people have the ability to recreate their story, is what Kanye West is trying to say. We cannot live in slavery anymore. We cannot live in that topic anymore. It's wonderful and amazing, and we should never allow the story to go dead, because then there's those ignorant people that say, oh, the Holocaust didn't exist, slavery didn't exist, slave trade didn't exist. Then we allow that to happen. I will always remain firm in my belief that when I bear children, I will teach my children that slavery existed, the Holocaust existed. There's people that are still being enslaved today. They will learn about the Matrix, the ins and outs, and they will learn about the past. But I will refuse to allow them to stay in that past. That is absolutely ridiculous and absurd, and I would not allow it. Okay, I will not. I will not. It also goes into slavery and the topic of slavery and the topic of having the choice. It also goes into us giving face for people like Kanye. Why? Because just for your opinion, or for those of you that don't know how the industry works, he's under fucking contracts. He's under contracts. What else do you expect? Stop expecting that man to be like you all. He's not like you guys. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I'm talking about a year, okay? All right, just him off of Adidas alone, millions of dollars he is making for this company called Adidas. As a sublet of Adidas, he's making millions of dollars, plus his music, plus the brand that he created for himself. He is not like you anymore. And he is not in the sunken fucking ship. He is not in the sunken place anymore. He's not there. Nigga, you are. The fuck? You are in that sunken place. You guys are in that sunken place because you guys still see yourselves as slaves back then. As opposed to having the ability to say, you know what, we're enslaved by social media, we're enslaved by this, we're enslaved by that, we're enslaved by the fucking dollar because we got to wake up every day and make that fucking dollar. But at the end of the day, we choose how we can make that dollar. We choose what social media is to be enslaved by. We choose to watch this video that I'm producing for you right now. Now you have a choice. And that is what Kanye West is talking about. And please go watch the rest of the Kanye West unedited version that's walking around on Instagram and on Facebook and everywhere else, and on TMZ, where he talked to the guy that had a response to him, who was so offended by what he said. That motherfucker don't know himself. You can tell he don't know himself, because if he did, he would know what the fuck Kanye is talking about. Okay, he can't say that he's offended by Kanye West when he works for one of the biggest monsters of enslavement today. Bitch, you work for TMZ. You work for TMZ, ho. I don't know about you, but you work for TMZ. You work for people that make other people look bad when sometimes they're not supposed to. You work for people that stalk other people. Granted, they have these contracts where the media moves them. The media produces whatever image they want to produce. So therefore, you can't say you don't understand what the fuck Kanye West is talking about, because even that guy is under a contract. He is more in the sunken place than Kanye. And for those of you that want to say, oh, Kanye married Kim Kardashian and she's his handler and all this other nonsense, he chose to marry that woman. Kanye West chose to marry Kim Kardashian before he started, you guys started saying that he was in that sunken place. Excuse me. Before you guys started saying that, he had already chosen to reproduce with her, to marry her. They were already fucking, all right? Okay. And just so you guys know, Kanye West is also using his own outlets, how he chooses to have you guys talking about him, so that he can take your energy and create stuff. And create stuff within the Matrix. So if he can do it, so can you. Okay? Now you have the choice to create whatever the fuck you want to create. That is the main point that he's trying to make. Okay? All right. Our ancestors, they disappointed us in some way, shape, or form, because they allowed people to go into their tribes and just fuck with their lives. And I can tell you that sometimes it is even bigger choice, because I have family members in Haiti, and everybody's taught that they fought to be free. Bitch, we're gonna be poor. We're gonna be asking for loans. The earthquakes are gonna come about, but bitch, we're free. Bitch, it's a choice. Okay? It is a choice. It is a monster that they fought, but they fought to the death, honey. They stood their ground to the death, honey. Okay? Just like Cuba. Oh, you have the embargoes, that's cute. We still don't like you, America. That's the choice. We have choices now. We're no longer slaves where we can't make a choice. We're enslaved to our fucking constitution. We have to walk around being under somebody else's rules, laws, and regulations. I work for the legal system. I'm a paralegal. okay? I understand you're still enslaved, but it's not where you don't have a choice. Especially for those of you that practice magic. You guys cannot follow social media like that. That is absolutely unacceptable, because you know that the matrix exists. If you follow this spirituality, you would know that the matrix exists, and this is how the matrix works. Whether you like it or not, or don't like the matrix, or want to get out of the matrix, or get out, bitch, you're still here. You're physically still in the planet. All right, that's all I had to say about that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Check. Bye.